Post-U.S. Open recap here on Xtra Holes. Scotty and I are going to talk about the good and the bad of the Open. We're also going to recap a little bit what happened in golf this last week. We'll start off with Nelly Korda. Shoots 25 under par to get back in the winner's circle. And snips by Duke standout Leona Maguire from Ireland. Obviously, it was a putting contest in Grand Rapids, Michigan. The women have another major this week with the Kpmg Women's PGA Championship at the Atlantic Athletic Club. It's rained a couple days now there, and the ladies are looking for a long, tough golf course this week. Yuka Sasso, the ladies' U.S. Open winner, was privileged last week to walk to a practice round with Rory McIlroy and meet some of the top players at Torrey Pines. She will keep her momentum going this week in Georgia. How will Lexi handle the pressure this week if she's in contention? Scotty, let me know what your thoughts were for last week's U.S. Open. We got a lot to talk about.
You bet, John Boy. Yeah, I thought it was a heck of an Open. It was. I thought it was really shaping up to be like a 8-guy. At one point in time, there was like 10 or 12 guys within 2 shots of the lead, and I thought my wife, who's not an avid golf fan, she's like, "Oh, that looks like it's going to go to a playoff." And I said, "I think you're right. I really thought that there was going to be a playoff." And then all of a sudden, everyone started falling off like flies. And it really came down to, as soon as Bryson collapsed on that back 9, it came down to a 2-man show. And I thought the golf course was great. You and I had discussed that it didn't quite have all week. It didn't have that open feel. And I think it was because it wasn't hard enough, even though the scores were, similar to when Tiger won. The golf course just didn't seem super hard.
Yes, I agree. I thought the rough was patchy at spots. I felt like no sunshine did not allow the USGA to bake their greens, get them brown, get them crunchy, because I did feel like it had a US Open feel to it around the greens. You couldn't short side yourself. You were going to get bad lies. But, I had my club championship this weekend. And if I didn't have my club championship this weekend, I really think, this is usually a week that from Thursday to Sunday, I'm kind of glued to the TV to watch from start to finish. And I feel like I really didn't miss anything. And it almost felt like the Masters. When the leaders get to the back 9, watch how the golf finishes. And, we saw that. Here you got Bryson DeChambeau sitting on the 10th tee box and leading the tournament, and then proceeds on the back 9 to shoot 44 and just throw up all over himself. So yeah. I felt like the U.S. Open to me this year was just the last 9 holes of the last day. I don't know if you.
Yeah, I mean, I feel similar. I watched almost the entire coverage on Thursday, and then we had our member Friday, Saturday. So I watched it on and off. We watched most of the afternoon on Saturday, and yeah, it just wasn't one of those tournaments where you're just like, oh my God, this is epic. Even though Rahm's finish was epic, and it will go down as obviously his first U.S. Open by a Spaniard, but it had a great finish to it. I was the person who I wanted to won. I had nothing against Louis, even though you had him in our little betting deal. Yeah. Which it's not for money, just friendly bet. But
no, but I had Louis for money. I had Louis for money. It killed me. Yeah, but I had Rahm also. So
yeah, but I bet you had better odds with Louis.
Oh, of course I did. Of course I did. Yeah. Big odds. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just that bad tee shot on 17, and he almost made par. Right.
He actually had like a 10-footer.
But there's been a lot of talk, in the last couple years, 3 years about speed. And you see how DeChambeau, kind of changed his body to kind of go after speed. And we saw that when he missed it on the 12th hole, and you could not see his golf ball at all. And he proceeded to hit a wedge from 180 to the front edge. And to me, that was just absolutely, that was crazy to see that, because you and I are going straight left, back to the fairway.
Yeah.
So
did you see his post-round presser?
No, I didn't.
So they were talking to him about, oh God, that was a collapse. He's like, no, it wasn't a collapse. It's just golf. I mean, he was almost, so matter of fact, it was like cocky, came across kind of bad. And they said, well, I'm sure this will take you a long time to get over. How long do you think it'll take you to get over? He goes, yeah, I'm over it. Yeah, it's just golf. I'm over it. I'm thinking, you know what? You had a chance to go back to back and you shot 40 freaking 4 on the back nine.
Yeah.
Pretty sure you're going to knock, knowing him, he probably went and hit balls the rest of the night.
And I don't know how long this whole Bryson, if we're going to stay on Bryson, but the Brooksy Bryson thing, I'm so over it. It's high school.
Yeah.
And for some apparent reason, the whole week, like every day they had something to talk about every day. And, I think, you brought it up in our last deal, this PIP thing. And I think Brooksy's is Brooks Koepka is trying to push it as far as he can push it. And dude, just let it go. Like I'm really, I loved his game. I love his grind. I really like how he preps for majors. Not a fan of him anymore. And it's because of this.
Well, first of all, I've never been a fan, but that's another story. But he was doing his press conference today from the Travelers. And obviously somebody asked him about it. Instead of just, trying to be classy and, just saying, hey, we're done with that. He fueled the fire again. He said, no, he gave some story about how his caddy came up to Ricky and told Ricky to tell his caddy that if he wants to talk to him, do it to his face. And it was like, blah, 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 blah. It was the same high school bullshit you're talking about. I'm tired of it. And I think the PGA Tour, whatever their governing body, whether it's the PGA Tour Policy Board, who's I think's meeting this week in Connecticut or whoever, they need to talk about it and tell these guys, all right, let's cut it out.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, are they doing it because social media is so big and that's, they want to keep their name and their players in the mix of a lot of the talk? I don't know, but I mean, come on, just let it go and stop it. It's just, again, we go back to being maybe a little bit more on traditionalist, but I just don't want to, I just, look at shame on the media if they continue to bring it up. That's just,
right.
They're the ones bringing it up to talk about it. Right. So.
Guess what? Shame on us for talking. We've already given it more time.
Well, you know what? We're officially done after this. We won't talk about it ever again.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Do you think that they should actually allow majors, U.S. Open PGAs, on golf courses that they play during the regular season?
No.
I agree with you. I'm over it now. I thought this was a great venue, and I don't know. Maybe it's because there wasn't big grandstands, there wasn't big crowds, I don't know. I mean, I would love to have Southern California or California get majors, but if you think about it, the golf courses that they play on during the regular season are the ones that can hold majors. And we'll see, though, coming up here in 2 years, LA North will be holding the U.S. Open 2023. And they don't allow a tournament during the year. In fact, this is a big thing for LA North to even LA Country Club allow this. But Pebble Beach, Riviera, and
Whale Hollow,
and you have Torrey Pines that are on this. Oh, Quail Hollow, yeah. There's another one. So I don't know. I'm just not a fan of it. I don't know, but I know that golf is big in Southern California and the Western United States. Where would you hold it? You know what I mean? That's the other question.
Well, that's at least a double-headed, whatever you want to call it. The thought escapes me. I'm getting older. That's part of the deal. But first of all, there's a lot of politics involved. So in the USGA, almost every president somehow has an influence on getting a tournament either in their backyard or wherever. Same kind of with the PGA. The PGA, PGA owns Valhalla, and so they've stopped at Valhalla plenty of times. I don't mind the golf course per se, but the point being is that it is very political on who gets these tournaments, and then it's who can handle the tournaments. And I still think there's plenty of great golf courses out there, like Abandoned Dunes or places like that they held an amateur. So my guess is they're going to be, if they're not on the road on the rotary for whatever. For U.S. Open, they should be.
Well, yeah, but where are they going to put everybody? I mean, that's the whole deal. We saw this at Hazeltine. The logistics to throw a major golf event is crazy. like where people
Oh.
stay and where people park, and like
They did it at Chambers Bay. They did it at Chambers Bay.
well, and they're going to be doing it here at Kiowa for the Ryder Cup, right? And you know,
No, Whistling Straits.
Whistling Straits. Sorry, at Whistling Straits, ain't nowhere to stay around there. People are going to be renting their homes out. Like
that's right. Yeah, that's right. So they're logistical and political, but point being is, I agree with you. I don't want to watch a golf tournament, a U.S. Open that just had the farmers, and you're seeing the same holes. It's just, I'd rather some other old traditional golf courses get a chance, and maybe some of the new ones, because they're building new ones to be made for tournaments.
Right? Yeah. The complex at the PGA headquarters there in Texas is going to be, I hear, state of the art, gorgeous.
That's in Frisco.
Yeah, Frisco. Yeah.
Have they already moved their headquarters? Because they
are in the process of doing that right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they went from Palm Beach Gardens, then they went up a little ways up to just north of Stewart, between Stewart and Vero. What the hell's the name of that? Port St. Lucie. They were in Port St. Lucie, and now they're going to. They must have got a sweetheart deal to go to Texas.
Well, it's just that, you know what it is. They just bought a bunch of land, to be honest with you, and everything is just going to come to them. So I heard there's a mall across the street that's being built. Everything's going to get built around this place. But I heard the practice facility is state of the art. Because I've talked to a pro that's in the running to be a pro there, or director of golf. So
that's cool.
Yeah, he said it's unbelievable. So
hey, back to the Open. How surprised were you that Matthew Wolff not only made the cut, but was in contention after making 8 birdies in that first round?
Yeah, here we were talking left and right about what was his issues, right? We were always wondering, and obviously he was very vocal this week about mental health, where he really got a good backing from Bubba Watson, and actually Nelly Cordes spoke about it a little bit too. And it's great that he's out talking about it. Now everybody knows why he's been not on tour, and he's trying to interact with the fans a little bit more and just be happier about what he's doing for a living. And, I think you and I discussed off topic here that, did he peak too early? Did he have success too early and just ran with it? And,
I think he did.
But then you look at a guy with Colin Morikawa who he did the same thing, but he's been able, and I think a lot of that has to do with the team that's around you. Right?
I agree with that.
So but obviously he has the game for a U.S. Open, and it was great to see him. And he's in the field this week at the Travelers. So hopefully, he can continue to succeed and carry on and work on this issue that he's got.
So as a SoCal guy, how disappointing were the fans there? Were you that Phil didn't really have a very good tournament?
I think the fans are okay with it. They know it's a coin flip. They're either going to hit their fill or they're not going to get their fill. So what was great about it is he got to play 4 rounds. Yeah. So he did make the cut. So, but I heard a rumor the other day that the week prior he has a putting coach that was with him, and all he did was bring his putter and maybe a wedge around the green. And he spent over an hour on every single green, on every possible spot they think they would have a pin. So it went to the first hole, and he was there for a whole hour. And then the second hole, a whole hour. Like, he did that for 18 holes.
Wow.
But, it all goes back down to, hitting fairways, and, that's what it's going to take.
Why in the hell is he playing this week too? I don't get it.
You know what? Our boy Brooksy said last week, there's a couple different reasons, I think. One, they treat their players really, really well up there. And it's a fun golf tournament to play in. That's one. Two, I don't know who's on the board of the Players Association, but this is the last meeting for the board for all the players, and then they revote to get new people in. And I think this is the last week. So there are some big decisions that are coming back. One with the green books, right? And that's going to get eliminated, I have a feeling.
Yep.
And then the other one that Rory's been very, very vocal about is anchoring, right? And you see Schauffele went to it, right? So anything that's right,
the same thing that Kuchar does, right? That's what Kuchar does, right?
Yeah, he went from the left one to the right one, and now I see Schauffele, who is a top 20, top 15 putter in the world, and now he's riding it up to his elbow. So something's got to be a benefit to it. But I know Rory's been very big advocate. I'm trying to say, nope, that's not going to happen anymore. So I think they're going to be okay to do this, with the long putter, but they're not going to allow any anchoring up the arms. So they're voting on that. So what happens is they vote, but then it gets handed over to the USGA and the PGA Tour. And then that's the final decision on that whole deal.
But the PGA Tour, they can, and this is unusual that they would do something before the USGA and the R&A does it. But the PGA Tour is well within their rights for their own sanctioned events to ban that. They don't need the blessing of the USGA, even though I'm sure they'll ask for it. They don't need their blessing.
Well, and they did that this year with allowing them to have the viewfinders, right?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I think they want it to be all kind of flowing. I mean, you're right. Each foundation can actually, set their own parameters on what they want to do.
That's right.
They kind of want it to all be under the same umbrella. I'm wondering to see if that's gonna go through. Huh? Go ahead.
You've got the USGA, their own deal, their tournaments, the PGA Tour, which is the bulk of the tournaments, the PGA of America, which is the Ryder Cup and the PGA, and then you have the Masters. And the Masters has usually been cutting edge on allowing it. Right now they're the only ones that don't allow that green book.
And then you have the European Tour also.
Yeah. But the European Tour is, I think, an arm of the PGA Tour. The European Tour is, right?
Well, they come together on agreements. Yes, correct.
Yeah. So actually, shifting gears, we have a LPGA major this week, and I think that we also have a senior tour, or whatever they call the damn tour. I think they're playing a major tour. They're playing the senior players this week.
Right. Firestone. Okay. Yeah, and then it's 2 weeks. No, it's next week is the U.S. Senior Open in Omaha Country Club. And
is it?
I think so. Yeah.
This weekend they're playing
July 8th. July 8th is when the U.S. Senior Open is.
Oh, that's 2 weeks then. Yeah.
2 weeks. Yeah. 2 weeks. And that's in Omaha.
And the ladies are playing at Atlanta Athletic Club, and I've played that a couple of times. It's a good test of golf. It's a nice place.
Yeah, and you so that's great because they're talking about rain, and if it's rained the last 2 days, so it's got to play long for those girls.
Yeah, I'm watching right now. The sun's out right now down there.
Yeah.
So, and it can get hotter than you know what down there too.
Yeah.
Especially this time of year. So.
All right. Well, I know it's just a little recap, but I know that in my mind, I felt like the best player won the Open this year. Rahm was the heavy favorite going in. He hung in there. The one thing I didn't like about everything is at the very end, he's turned into like a NASCAR guy telling everybody about his equipment and this got me there and thank you for this. And I thought it was great that he just became a father. He wins on Father's Day. I thought that was all cool. He should have just ran with that, but he had to puff out his chest and talk about how good his Callaway equipment is and how good this was and the ball and the wedges and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, okay, why don't you just go ahead and name, I want to thank Top Golf and Travis Matthews and, all that stuff. So
I'd like to thank my mom, my dad, my Uncle Fred, who gave me some seed money. But you know what, though? It's just like we talked about last week with all the golf betting, everything. It's no different with sponsors. It's all about follow the money.
Yeah.
And at least they don't have like NASCAR uniforms or, even though a lot of them do have, both sides of their sleeve, their hat, both sides, the back of their stuff. But hey,
especially the Asian players, the Korean guys are like, they got it all over the place. Yeah.
Hey, you do the same damn thing if you're getting paid too, though.
Yeah, exactly. Where do you want me to put that? Yeah, I can put
right.
I can put you right there on the collar. Yeah, no problem.
Well, I've got a good story
so
on a different day.
There's my shirt from the Club Pro guy. My punch
nice.
Yeah. So.
Well, congratulations on your 7 under at the your tournament last week. Most people would win at 7 under. How many shots were you back?
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank Mark Warm. I want to say congratulations to Mark Warman, our club champion this week. Stellar play. I was playing with him the second day, and he was on a 59 watch. I don't know if you, Scotty, but I've never been on a 59 watch. I thought he was 9 under through 12 holes on our course. He shot 65, 63, I think 71. So I only lost by 10, I think, something like that. So,
I have not. I was actually on a 59 watch one time at Minneapolis Golf Club. I was 9 under through 12. I eagled 11 and 12 to go 9 under. Wow. And all of a sudden my group got quiet. I mean, no one was saying a word.
Did the same thing. Yeah. Did the same thing. We were like, this guy's throwing a no-no. Like, you don't talk to him. Just like,
but the deal is right after 12. So I go eagle. And then right after 12 is a drink shack. So I'm like, okay, guys, let's get a drink. Here we go. They're like, they're not talking. So what did I do? I hit it in the bunker, made bogey, and then I birdied 3 holes coming in, shot 62. But when I was 9 under through 12, I was literally thinking, oh my God, I could do this.
So you were thinking about it then?
For sure I was.
Yeah.
For sure I was.
Yeah. So he shoots 63 with a double.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many shots did he win the tournament by?
9 or 10. 9, I think, because I was
wow. 10 shots. How old a guy is he?
Just shy of 40. So that's where I'm patting myself on the back. 54 years old, and I think I was at least 14 years older or 15 years older than anybody out there that was in contention, in that last group. So yeah, I hung in there. But next year, I graduate to the seniors.
Nice.
So I get to play the white tees and play Wednesday, Friday for the club championship instead of that Friday. By the way, that's a lot of golf for you and I, like 3 days in a row. Like,
yes, for grinding it is.
Yeah, it is. For member guests, completely different situation because it's 9 holes, take a break, have a cocktail, play 9 holes again. So it's a little bit different. So, and the other thing that was I walked 2 of the rounds.
Nice.
I walked Friday, Saturday, and then on Sunday, I'm like, I'm not doing this. I'm just gonna ride, enjoy it. So.
Well, you had a big day at the anyway, but
yeah.
All right. Well.
All right. Well, we don't know when we're going to be back, people, but don't be surprised if we're talking next week. But I want to thank everybody for listening on in and enjoying the show. And Scotty and I will just continue to keep giving you as much information we can about the week in golf. And Scott, I don't know what you're doing the rest of the week, but play well because I know you're going to be playing. And have a great week.
Yep. Thank you.
All right, and we'll see you in the fairway.
You do the same, bud.
Cheers.
Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.